Hey moms, I'm Coach Renee J, the Mom Boss Coach. If this is your first time following me, thank you so much for your support. So if you're a Christian mother, and if you're not familiar with who I am or what I do, I'm a Christian women's parenting coach, and I empower Christian mothers in how to tackle their anxiety through managing their time, family, and stress. And within today's video, you guys, I'm going to be talking about something that Christian moms and mothers as a whole, right? Because I know everybody that follows me is not a Christian mother, right? But that's my main audience. Christian mothers and mothers as a whole, I know that it is difficult, right? Raising a family, being responsible for everything that we have to take care of as mothers, as leaders of our household, along with our husbands if we are married, right? I know it's a lot. And that's why I chose this topic as far as tackling anxiety this month, because there are so many different mothers, whether you're Christian or not, especially us Christian mothers, that struggle with anxiety, right? And you may wonder why that is. And I really believe it's because when you begin to understand the responsibility that you have as a mother, right? As a Christian mother, you're responsible for your child's well-being, your child's, mental health, emotional health, their physical health, their spiritual health, right? All of the above. This is a major part of anxiety for a lot of us because we know, right? We understand that is a lot to carry. That's a lot of heaviness. And the more children you have, is the more responsibility you have, right? And if you're a wife, that adds to your responsibility as well, right? And so not only are you walking around knowing that you have to face every day trying to tackle your challenges and your issues and your setbacks and your downfalls, but you have to look out for every person in your household. You're responsible for every person in your household as well. And the truth is, whether we acknowledge it or not, all of these things, all of these responsibilities, all of these, things that we have to take care of, it weighs on us. So moms, this is what I want you to begin doing. I want you to begin to reframe your mind, right? Reframe your mindset, the way that you're thinking about the things that you have to handle, your responsibilities, right? As a Christian mother, as a Christian wife, right? Because a lot of times we begin to have false expectations for ourselves. We begin to have unrealistic expectations of what we should be doing and how we should be doing it, right? When you compare yourself to another mother that you feel is doing better than you, or, seems like she's never struggling or whatever it is, and you're struggling in different areas of your parenting journey, all of these things, right? Or even in areas of you being a wife, right? All of these things add to insecurities within you. All of these things build up anxiety within you, right? And so moms, I know the heaviness, I know the weight, I know the pressure that is upon you when you are responsible for each and every individual in your home. Even, how you take care of your spouse, right? And then a lot of us are, as Christian mothers, we're involved in our churches, right? We're involved in serving in our churches and our communities, and then we are either business women, or we work a 9 to 5 or a part-time job, or we're going to school, right? We're students, right? So we're so many different things. We wear so many different hats. And honestly, mom, let me tell you this, and this is true, if you acknowledge it, right? If you're honest with yourself. A lot of times we're too hard on ourselves, okay? So yes, you need to raise the bar in every area of your life if you see that you're slacking in any area, right? So we can't just do things haphazardly whenever we want to, and today we feel like dealing with the kids, tomorrow we don't. Today we feel like dealing with our husband, tomorrow we don't, right? So I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about not setting false or unrealistic expectations of what you're supposed to be doing, right? Putting extra pressure on yourself, which builds anxiety within you, right? We want to get away from that, because you're not going to see yourself moving forward and growing in all these different areas of your parenting journey, right? When you begin to slow down and get stagnated because you're adding extra stress to yourself because of the unrealistic expectations that you're adding to yourself or that you're allowing others to add to you. So some ways, mom, that you can begin to avoid doing this, right? You can avoid adding unrealistic expectations to yourself or adding unnecessary stress to yourself, right? is number one, stop trying to please everybody, right? Stop comparing yourself to other mothers and stop trying to please everybody. Stop trying to be everything to everybody because you're not going to be able to meet every need, right? All the time. And then number two is begin to just focus on taking everything day by day. And what I mean by that is when you begin to think about all that's expected of you as, according to the word of God, right? All that's expected of you as a mother, as a wife, right? A Christian mother, as a Christian wife, right? As a homemaker, as a nurturer, right? That's a lot to deal with. And then you have your own issues, your own problems, your own things that you have to do for yourself. All of these things weigh us down in our minds, weigh us down in our bodies, right? Weigh us down in our spirits. When we feel like we're not meeting the mark, when we feel like we keep dropping the ball, when we begin to allow people to set unrealistic expectations on us and we feel like, it just feels like I'm never good enough and, oh, I messed up again. So moms, that's why I would tell you to stop highlighting all of your failures, right? All of your shortcomings, all the negative things that people may tell you, even if it's your own husband, even if it's your children complaining about you. Take those things to God in prayer, and also, like I said earlier, take everything one day at a time. If you didn't do so good yesterday with cleaning the house and dealing with your kids with patience and maybe serving your husband because you got frustrated because you were tired and you had pain in your body and you just wanted to sit down and take a break, but everyone had to be served, or this and that had to be cleaned and that and this had to be done because someone didn't do it right. So maybe you weren't as patient as you should have been. So maybe you weren't as kind as you should have been. So maybe you didn't use the patience that you should have used, right? Or maybe you didn't have the right attitude that you should have had when your husband was talking to you or your child was trying to talk to you. Well, tomorrow, be mindful of that. Tomorrow's a new day, right? Don't take yesterday into the next day, right? If you're going to take yesterday into the next day, do this. Don't take all the emotions from yesterday of feeling like a failure, of feeling like you're not meeting the mark, being mindful of all the negative comments everyone may have made of you or all the complaints everyone had about you, possibly, which is also adding anxiety to you, right? And building insecurities within you. I want you to start doing this, Mom. Think about what you could have done differently. Pray about it for the next day. Every day is a new day. So with that kind of mindset, you can begin to move forward because that's the whole point. The only way you can see growth in any area of your life, and within this area of your life, we're talking about tackling anxiety, right? Tackling anxiety within motherhood as a Christian mother and a Christian wife. You're only going to see the growth that you should. You're only going to see yourself overcoming in these different areas of tackling anxiety and all the areas of your life that are causing anxiety when you don't bring yesterday into today, and also when you're forgiving yourself, right? And also when you're choosing not to live according to people's unrealistic expectations of you, right? Because moms, you know what? It's time to start overcoming your anxieties, and it's time to move forward with focus, with vision, and with clarity.